this at speeds of up to 600 miles an hour, there's no room for error. Every decision has to be made in a split second. And certainly every second counted when the police were trying to catch up with the gang of Brum raiders.
It's 11:30 on a Friday night and security cameras in a cash and carry warehouse in Basingstoke record a break-in. Sparks fly as a gang of thieves use an angle grinder to cut an opening in the reinforced steel doors. With military precision, the 6 dedicated criminals strip the cash and carry bare, load the loot into 2 stolen cars and make off at speed, all before the alarm has even gone off. When the alarm is raised, the police are quick to act. Chiltern Air Support are swiftly in action, their thermal image cameras showing heat as white light. They soon pick out the 2 cars speeding through Oxfordshire. The gang are using 2 of the fastest cars on the market, a Mitsubishi Evolution and a Subaru Impreza. This is the start of an extraordinary pursuit, even by police camera action standards. 4 police forces, 3 helicopters, and dozens of traffic cars will all be tested to their limit in the next 2 hours. The fleeing criminals take to the M40, hoping to outrun the helicopter on their tails. But the chopper crew are ahead of them and call for local traffic officers on the ground to wait on the motorway ahead of the chase. An hour has already passed since the break-in. Thames Valley officers, PCs John Knights and Phil Murphy, immediately respond to the call in their high-powered undercover car. Luckily, it's one of the few cars in the area capable of keeping up with the 2 stolen vehicles. It's the start of a memorable night for John and Phil. The fleeing cars are soon behind them. Members of an elite group of police drivers trained to deal with high-speed pursuits, John and Phil soon leave their slower colleagues behind and are driving at speeds of up to 150 miles an hour, as shown on the right of the screen. The gang make things difficult for the officers by throwing items from the car. Later, it transpired that a dozen duplicate Subaru keys had been dumped on the motorway. When the missiles failed to deter their pursuers, the getaway drivers cut up a white van and force it into the path of John and Phil. Failing to lose John and Phil on the motorway, the 2 cars veer off into the countryside, hoping that the police will not be able to maintain their high speeds off the motorway. Both cars kill their headlights in a futile bid to confuse the helicopter. Phil and John are still keeping up, despite the speed and unfamiliar roads. They've lost sight of the burglars, but the helicopter's commentary keeps them on the right track. Entering the town of Southern in Warwickshire, 90 miles from the Basingstoke warehouse, the thieves pose problems for the helicopter. As the Mitsubishi pulls into a garage forecourt, the Subaru screeches off. The helicopter stays with the Mitsubishi. Thinking they've outrun the police, the trio pull up to a pump and, with balaclavas still on, make a pit stop for petrol. Incredibly, the gang attempt to go straight and send one of their men to the cashier's window to pay. But the net is closing in. The helicopter guides in tireless John and Phil. As the duo enter the forecourt, one passenger dives into the car. But proving there's no honour among thieves, the Mitsubishi speeds off, leaving the accomplice at the till to make his escape on foot. The camera operator in the helicopter follows the crook as he sprints across the fields. The pilot continues to track the getaway car, as do the dogged John and Phil. The cameraman makes a final note of where the crook goes to ground before the chopper rejoins the chase. A second police helicopter, East Midlands Air Support, has been scrambled and is making its way across the country to join the police effort. Within minutes, they have the Mitsubishi in their sights, and the original Chiltern chopper hands over the pursuit to go back to the garage and root out their man, the abandoned criminal left at the till.
Yes, Simon.
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, Roger. We're with him, Simon.
Okay, breaking off. All yours. Good luck.
Thank you.
As Chiltern arrive at the petrol station, a dog picks up a scent in one of the fields. Officers on the ground follow. The helicopter's cameraman searches for suspicious heat sources in the neighbouring fields. But the dog comes up trumps and has found something in a stream shrouded by dense overgrowth. It is the stranded villain.
Yeah, we've just had a result at Silent.
One down, two more to go. Back on the pursuit of the Mitsubishi, police have set up a stinger, a bed of nails designed to puncture the fleeing car's tyres. But the driver is wise to the device and goes off-road. He doesn't know it yet, but his back tyre has just been punctured. John and Phil, who've been driving for 25 minutes at high speeds, are still determined to bring their target to book. But the gang have been travelling for longer, and their fatigue is beginning to show. The criminals have to bully their way past a confused motorist. But they don't just leave him behind. In slow motion, the thermal camera shows the white-hot back tyre flying off the car. The car's now driving on metal rims at 100 miles an hour, leaving a shower of sparks in its wake. Stripped of rubber, the steel wheels gouge marks in the road, leaving a terrific guide track for John and Phil. Sensing that the police net is closing in, the crooks veer off the main road into the town of Meriden in the West Midlands. John and Phil almost miss the turning, but the lack of gouge marks soon alerts them to their mistake, and they're swiftly back on the track.
All we believe is that he's on the A45, we haven't been able to confirm particular.
The villains have crossed another county border, their fourth, and a third police chopper's been scrambled. The West Midlands helicopter guides in more ground units. It's going to take 4 police forces, scores of officers, and a lot of patience to end this pursuit.
You've actually got 2 helicopters on us at the moment. We're higher.
Yes, understood, thank you. With a mobile call...
The car cannot hold out much longer, and after 150 miles and 90 minutes, the pursuit skids to a halt.
Vehicle stop Meriden.
But the 2 offenders still will not give themselves up. They run into back gardens.
Near Meriden. Mike Tango 15 received.
Yeah, Alpha Oscar 1, we've got 2 out of the car, away to the left, into the fields. We need officers on Channel 18.
The helicopters each follow a different offender. While West Midlands follows the passenger on the left of the screen, who runs off at speed across the fields, East Midlands stays with the driver, who hides underneath trees at the back of gardens before making a dash for it.
He's moving across the grounds.
The little town is being flooded with police, and John and Phil are soon at the scene. Having come this far, the pair are keen to make an arrest. The passenger dumps his ski mask and gloves in bushes and continues his flight across the fields. The driver conceals himself at the back of a local clubhouse. But the all-seeing helicopter has him in its sights and directs Phil, on the right of the screen, to the hiding place.
Turn round, go back. Right on the corner of the building he went in.
Meanwhile, the passenger has found his way into a large country estate and squeezes himself under a builder's porter cabin.
Turn right now. Okay, you've got if you stop there...
But West Midlands police are just seconds behind.
In front of you, one on its own. Underneath there, that's where he's hiding. Yeah, that's the correct place. He's underneath there.
And they soon dig him out.
Yeah, we've got one in custody that we were following.
Back at the clubhouse, Phil is closing in on his man when the crook makes a dash for freedom. But the helicopter picks up the criminal behind the fence and follows him into a wooded area. Phil's perseverance pays off as he makes the final arrest.
That's in my nice up now. Turn to your right as soon as you can. He's in those tall trees. To your right, to your right. To your right now. Have you got him? I'm in custody. Yes, brilliant. Well done.
The pursuit lasted 2 hours, covered 150 miles and involved 4 police forces. The 3 men received a total of 11 years in jail. But despite the mammoth police effort, 1 car got away and was used in an armed robbery later that same day. Coming up in part 2, the drivers who dice with death, a ditched attempt to avoid a speed trap, and dogged determination helps make an arrest. A police car is on its way to a traffic accident when the driver notices a rather wayward caravan.
Just on the exit to the work unit at Scotland. 2 vehicles in lane 2. Come back over one of them.
Yes, yes.
The mobile home gathers a momentum of its own, and the police driver can only keep his distance as the towing Land Rover loses control.
Mike Alpha 1, RTA, just witnessed an RTA, M18 out, southbound. We've got lane 2 and partly of lane 1 blocked over.
Also losing control is the second driver, steering the rear wheels of the heavy load in front.
Uh-oh, lost control.
And another trailer ends up in the scrapyard.
Vehicle number, please.
Whereas this top-heavy motorist, carrying the carcass of a car on top of his own, has turned his vehicle into a scrapyard. And sending out SOS smoke signals in Cleveland is a transit van with a faulty engine that might be better off in a scrapyard. Heeding the distress call, the officers accelerate to catch up with the inattentive driver and point him in the direction of the nearest recovery services. Every day, the AA deals with 13,000 breakdown calls. A lot of them are for very simple and straightforward things: flat tyres, flat batteries, empty fuel tanks. Others are considerably more complicated. But there's a handful that, even for the experts, remain a complete mystery. And that's where this deceptively ordinary-looking patrol van comes into play. If the operator is unable to solve the problem, then pictures, sound and computer data can all be sent back to HQ for instant expert advice. A long remove from when the AA began in 1905 as a pressure group that objected to police speed traps. Directed by undercover officers, PCs on the London to Brighton road captured scores of speeding motorists. Scouts were then recruited by the AA to patrol the road by bicycle, seeking out the traps.
Captain, look, there's another one there. He's ready to return his tribute. What?
If a motorist passed with an AA badge, the scout would warn them of a trap up ahead.
Trap higher up, sir. Oh, good man. Thanks.
As motoring became more popular, the AA grew and developed into the breakdown service it is today. But of course, the problem of speeding has not gone away, and the police still lie in wait.
Oh yes, here we go then. Got a Merc.
Motorway police record a posse of two-wheeled day trippers darting through the traffic at a staggering 125 miles an hour.
We won't get the bikes on the way down. They're not going to see us at them speeds. They'll just keep going. We'll get more than one bike on the... We've got all three. Where's the Merc?
As the officers race to catch up, they notice that a driver in a silver Mercedes ahead is racing the riders.
That'll overtake out inside. Merc's going, look. Merc's going to get this. He's racing them.
Worried police accelerate ahead, and then stop all 3 lanes of the motorway in order to pull over each and every one of the speeders.
All these 3 bikes can have one.
Avoiding police speed cameras isn't easy and can sometimes be very costly. This driver's over-the-top evasion left him with a hefty garage bill.
Humberside police have developed a special unit to get rough on crime. They want criminals to understand that if they steal a car, they run the risk of bumping into Max. 2 powerful marked patrol cars operate as a pack. But the innovation here is that this patrol car, with the dog in the back, can keep up with the action and deliver the dog to the very heart of that action when the police move in for an arrest.
Please stand still! Stand still! Max!
And the really good news is that this initiative is already working. In this part of the world, car crime is down by 50%.
The same vehicle crime unit are out on patrol when they spot a stolen red Metro speeding away from them in the opposite direction.
He's going. A Metro. X8 Tango Tel 91 urgent message.
With their quick acceleration, the pursuing police soon gain ground and have the 2 youngsters in their sights.
And it's left into Ryde Avenue. Alpha.
Now that they've caught up with the car thieves, it's time to put the training into action. And the first car pulls over to allow the dog car through to the front of the pursuit.
Now, when did you receive all that?
It's mid-afternoon and the dense city traffic crowds the roads. But the Cavalier Kid is stopping for no one, takes to the wrong side of the road and blindly runs red lights in his bid to escape. As the youth veers into a side street, the experienced police driver's reactions are tested.
And it's a sharp right into Park Avenue. And it's left onto Newland Avenue. Is that video working? Yeah, it's working.
But there's no getting away from the vehicle crime unit when they have a scent, and the boys end up where they first started.
Contravening the red signal into the path of oncoming vehicles, back onto Clough Road. Get them up to that. We could have somebody possibly Ennerdale Link Road with 1020.
An open stretch of road proves to be the thieves' undoing.
Yes. Oh, he's lost it.
The car crashes into a bed of roses.
Crash on Clough Road, Vulcan Street.
With textbook timing, the dog is out and running. The youths, hardly smelling of roses, were sentenced to 18 months and 2 years in jail. But it's not just car thieves who drive on the wrong side of the road. Fed up with waiting in a tailback, this driver lets impatience get the better of his judgment and very nearly causes an accident. Whereas the driver in the red car in front seems to lack any judgment at all. Speeding through the traffic, he not only disregards lane markings, but adds to his offences by running a red light.
That's just through a red light, I don't believe that.
Drivers who ignore red warning lights and safety barriers at level crossings can be jailed for up to 2 years. And now, hidden cameras have been installed at Britain's most dangerous level crossings to catch them doing it. Up to 60 accidents a year, some of them fatal, occur on level crossings, with the drivers of 125-mile-an-hour trains reporting countless near misses. In the past, it's been difficult to catch drivers who make that mad dash, but not anymore. The cameras will make level crossings a safety hotspot for dangerous drivers.
Jumping a level crossing is still a frighteningly common offence.
My God.
And a fatal one. Last year, a total of 13 people were killed on level crossings. Obeying the level crossing signs, this tailgating pickup chooses to ignore the road markings in his bid to get ahead. And this van decides that waiting isn't for him, as he overtakes not one, but two vehicles on a blind bend. And yes, there is a car coming the other way. But if it came to a contest of impudence, then this white van man in London would win hands down. Using the left turn lane to overtake commuters, he then attempts to squeeze back into lane, quite ignorant of the motorbiker behind.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Unable to find a space, the transit owner attempts to bully his way ahead. Amazed by his antics, police pull the driver over. But the officers who stopped this escort discovered the tightest squeeze of all. An extended family clearly thought their car was like Doctor Who's TARDIS. I don't know who counted them in, but the TARDIS is counting them out.
No funny business now. Okay, come out with your hands up.
Up next, it's LAPD Life on the Beat. Then at 10, a man loses his job and attempts to blow up a train in robbery homicide division. Later at 11:05, there's psychological drama as Jeremy Irons stars twice in tonight's movie Dead Ringers.